Hello, friends. Welcome to Akulmach Live. I'm your host, CK. All right. So, mental health is a very big issue today in our generation and also in the next generation, which is yet to arrive on the scene. And it is becoming a very big issue. And to discuss this matter, I will be joined by a very distinguished guest on our program. He has 2.5 decade of industry experience. So he's our industry colleague, but lot of experience with lot of uh, you know uh, uh, have seen different kind of situation, different kind of people, etc. So he can add value to this particular topic. Nevertheless, he is the founder and CEO of BT Biz, a very special company which is a licensed voice over IP carrier, and he provides interoperability. His company, I mean, provides interoperability between nations and between carriers. So, very senior person running multi-million dollar, and we are going to discuss with him about the mental health issue. So, without further ado, let me welcome Basant Tomar to our program. Let's welcome him. How are you, Basant? Welcome to Akulmach Live.
Hey CK, I'm good. Thank you. Long time. How are you doing?
Doing great, Basant. Thank you so much for joining us live, and we are live across all social media platforms. And as I explained in the beginning, that you are a technocrat, basically a techno entrepreneur. Yet, we felt that you are the best person to talk about the mental health issues, which are quite in abundance. Everybody is having mental health issues today. Um, so, are you excited to talk about it? You would like to share some experience which you have seen in the recent past about this particular issue?
So, see, there is no excitement, per se, when you see so many people struggling. If you ask me, 90% people would be struggling with mental health, mental issues from the beginning. And it has been a taboo in this country or even across to talk about it. People don't want to even go for counseling or even discuss, actually. So, my family, I have seen enough things because we had four siblings. So, I saw a couple of things at my end. I have also seen in my childhood or even in my school or colleges, friends around, things happened with us. We can't. We were not allowed to open up. If you wanted to open, there was a backlash. So, we've seen, I've got two kids, one is 21, 22, other is 16. I'm watching. So I've seen things from the close range. I've managed thousands of people. I see them today also. I mean, like 40-year-olds behaving um, as if they can't handle their emotions.
So, Basant, this is a very important issue. A lot of us are getting affected, whether personally or within our community or in family, friends, etc. There are a lot of cases which are happening now. Primarily, people used to say that it's because of working from home, long hours, working from home, stagnant life form. But then I think there are a lot of other issues, other type of issues. So let us go to our first question, which has been submitted by some of our viewers. And let me read that question first. And that is, how can individuals recognize early signs of mental health and in themselves and also near family and friends? Are there any any markers or any early signs which people can see and probably take corrective measures around them?
Uh, it's very hard to define somebody bubbling with joy is in depression. So we've seen death of a very fine actor. I think what was his name? I mean, comedians, the biggest comedians ever we had, he committed suicide. So we really don't know what's happening with anyone, you, me, or my colleagues, my family, but you can assess end of the day that every day uh, they, you know, behaving in a particular fashion or in certain situations, they react in a very harsh or very different ways. you need to observe people and in different conditions. Now, when everything is okay, people are fine in the sense it goes. But when something comes up which is hard or difficult, then you see these things coming up. People with mental health issues will have exaggerated reactions to various things all the time. Even for the slightest thing, sometimes an event or a memory, revisiting, and they react violently.
Is that the violence, if it is visible, then could be a sign. But are there any other signs? For example, somebody is
This is one. The other is, getting itself, staying within yourself, staying in the house, more within yourself, not talking to people much, not socializing, getting more into social media and all the time. And see, again, even there, it's a cry for help. They're looking for some kind of adulation or love or something missing. Uh, they want help. They're crying and they don't know what to do about it. If they speak up, there'll be backlash, within the family itself, in fact. And I've seen that. Close friends around, tons of people. I've been 45 years of life, I think thousands of people. So, not just violence is, for some it's violence, for some it's drowning in certain things, compulsive behavior. Majorly, it's compulsive action without which somebody can't live. This is a telltale sign. It could be drug, it could be any medicine, it could be uh, social media, it could be liquor, it could be any. I mean, you understand where I'm going with this. So, you need a lively person to understand, if they're participating, talking to you or not. So those things need to be checked regularly.
so you mentioned social media. Too much of social media, and people are going inside social media and basically getting glued to it. And who does that? People like you and me don't have that much of time to look at social media like 24/7. But then there are youngsters, and especially teenagers and young adults. They are spending too much time on social media or chatting. So do you think that is an early sign of some sort of a issue, or what is your opinion?
Oh, CK, now if you start from the childhood story, a youngster, I mean, every time we were forced to prove ourselves, right? I mean, that you should be like him, like this, like that. Now, a youngster has not, you know, barring certain exceptions, these youngsters are just growing up. Now they need to prove, they're forced to prove, and they don't know what to do. So the next thing that they would like to do is find something somehow which can attract attention, which can give them something, some solace somehow. So they can find that in compulsive behavior, and social media is a brilliant platform created for such people to attract, and so that they can take their emotions out. And it gets into a very bad manner. They are glued all the time, likes, dislikes, as we said, chatting is a way of trying to express yourself. Now it could be, if it's the wrong hands, wrong things happen. But if it is a nice guy out there or something good, probably he can get good advice. Otherwise, 90% of the times it's all chaos there. People are all looking to escape eventually, or prove they're better, or prove they are something. Because this is not the time to be something. But then, if family and society is not really close, in our, let's say, in metros, I'm staying in tower, I don't know my neighbor. He doesn't want to talk. Now his kids would do what? Even they will stay there, and you can't stay alone. I mean, this is not the time. Humans are never supposed to be staying alone. We are social animals.
Well, let me draw this discussion in a more specific direction. You mentioned that the people are, getting, especially the young adults or teenagers, they're getting glued to their social media, and they feel sometimes very restless if they are waiting for messages to come, they're waiting for some responses on their social post, or they want to read some other social post. So, and they are so restless. It's like addiction. When there is addict, there is substance addiction. People are longing for the substance to come back into their body. So do you think this is comparable to that? It's like an addiction where people just want to read the message, they want to read what is going on in social media, they want to watch the reels. So is it, at the mental level, is it comparable, addiction, substance addiction, as well as the social media addiction?
Anything compulsive, you understand, I said before, any compulsive behavior is a sign, telltale sign of something wrong. Mentally, physically, it could physically, which gets down to mentally. Now, again, these people do not have a circle, a society, a social circle, even in the family. They're looking for diversion all the time to divert their mind from the core issue that is hurting them, which they can't speak. So what our mind does is the same. Every 3 seconds, 4 seconds, we are diverting. It's very hard. So with the kind of environment we are in, the pressure situations that kids are put into because of family fear, whatever, we are not looking them as human beings. What we want is basically showpieces. Sorry for that, but eventually all parents want to do is my son is this, he's doing this, my daughter is doing this, he's not with this, he's not with that. Have you ever spoken to them? And do you even talk to them and sit with them? I mean, we can very easily tell that that they're on social media. Why are they on social media? Why can't you make their life more interesting and you can give them something better to do? Put them somewhere, show them a path. It all starts with parents and the society, school, basically, and they don't care about mental health. All they're interested in marks. Somehow show that and put the child on that path. It's not helping. Where are people headed? You can see. So it's about a collective, responsibility of a family and a society to see that kids from the beginning are groomed and they are given a path, shown something that life is better. Now, family, husband comes, he's crying. His job is blah blah blah. He's so tired. Uh, Negative things. Even for business, when somebody comes away from this problem, that problem, child sees that what is the point of my family, my father, my mother struggling, and they're coming in crying. And literally, they're in that compulsive behavior. Now, what would a child get? Now, if a parent comes home bubbling all the time, I say, I've achieved this, I've done this, and we are planning this, we're planning that, let's do this, let's do that. This is missing. This has been missing for 90% of families. What would a child?
So, Basant, actually, I'm enjoying what you're saying, but then I have one objection here also, which is that when you are saying that it is a behavioral issue which starts with behavioral issue and then it becomes an addiction, so you have to stop the behavioral aspect also, and the onus goes on to the parents. They are too busy, they are in their own world, they have too much expectation, etc. But even if the parents are right and if they tell the right thing, the children are not listening. They are not listening the right things. They are kind of saying that, look, you guys are spent force, and we are the we are full of energy, and we know exactly what is going on. So in that situation, when your children are not listening to you, young adults, and they just want to explore the world on their own terms, and in that they don't realize that they are living in a safe zone, safe area, and they do not know how cruel the world is. And when they actually go out and, god forbid, something happens, the parents will again suffer. They have been telling the children not to follow these things, and if something goes wrong with the children, whether physical or mental, the suffering party is again the parent. So, is it right to put everything, on the head of the parent, the entire onus on the parent itself?
Yes, it is. Please understand when you're saying that adults don't listen to what parents say. I can ask hundreds of questions there to anyone saying that. If parent is doing good, please understand if a parent is really performing well and is showing a path that this is how better things are done, and he's got a social circle. He meets the friends, takes the kids out, plays with them, goes out in the nature. Do you think kids will have a problem? We are here to support. If you ask me, my wife, we are pretty clear with our kids that we are here to help them out. They have their own life, but then we do not do anything which gives them a wrong impression about life, work, etc., etc. Have made some mistakes. We corrected those, and now all the time, what we do is shower them with the best that we can, show them the path. And since we attach, we have been pretty not very successful, good enough so that they see that if you work hard and diligently, you will get a life that you need, and there is no compulsive. We don't drink, we don't smoke, we don't do anything. There is no compulsive behavior. I am not on social media. They watch all that. They're not, my kids are not on social media. One is tremendous. She's got a good job in a very good company. The other is she's in her own world. She's a musician. She's an author. She must be whatever. We don't stop them. Please understand. We are not guilty. What is happening is what we are trying. We learned. We understood from our past what the parents were and what they did right, wrong. Whatever wrong they did, we knew took that further. We knew. We absorbed good ones. And we took it a step ahead. When you say kids don't listen, I don't agree that they don't listen, they listen. But then they more than that, they see what you're doing. And that gives them an experience, and that's what they will follow. Okay, again, CK, stress. What is stress? The situation which is hard, difficult, we've not seen before. So that creates a pressure. We name stress. There's nothing like stress is not to be managed. There's nothing like stress. It's a difficult or a different situation which needs to be managed. Now, if there is support around, you will not feel that much stress. Anxiety is good for certain time, not as a chronic, but that gives you that, put you on a high that is you need to take care. Even stress does that for a certain period of time. Stress is required so that you can focus and get serious about it. So, stress and anxiety, it's all either from the past, certain events, certain things. I will come down to emotions when they are not allowed to be expressed from the childhood. This is what will create stress and anxiety in a child. That if I speak one, if I don't speak inside me and it's hurting me, things will happen with their friends, things around, and they would like to, expose, they would like to talk, they understand what's happening. We create stress, parents for everything. Watch this, don't do this, don't do that, this will happen, that will happen. Preempting everything all the time. If you go out, this may happen. Come on, give them strength and tell them you got to prepare yourself, cover your risk. The whole time that I tell people around is try and cover risk as much as possible. Get mentally, physically strong, play some sport, be creative, do whatever best you can. Things will happen, but we are here to support.
So, Basant, let's talk about the stress which is related to our lifestyle, stress which is related to work. And I think I have lost Basant. His line is dropped. Not sure whether Basant can hear me, but I think let's continue our discussion. It's about some coping mechanism, and Basant was also talking about certain mechanisms which were okay. So Basant, you are back. I think you can hear us. Let me. Yes, I can see you right now, and you were talking about the stress which is predominantly for young adults. So let's shift gear and talk about the stress which is work related and related to targets, because I think we see that a lot in our work. Um Sometimes employees can be stressed, sometimes employers can be stressed because of non adherence to targets, non adherence to success, non adherence to meeting the numbers, etc. How to cope up with those kind of stress?
Yeah, see, we're running companies, and we've been heads, we've been CEOs, heads of companies and manage thousands of people. Eventually, be realistic. The whole point is, employee and employer must have a very clear communication, what is expected from each other, and what's the path ahead. No one talks about it. All that is done, and the employer comes up and he says, "See, this is the salary, this is the package, this is what you need to do." And the employee rarely talks. I've not seen people coming up and asking questions, the right question that is the path ahead for me. What do you expect from me in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months? And see, an employee will have a lot of issues, and an employer also per se might have certain failures which could put them in that situation. But again, I can talk about me, things that I have seen. I really don't put people under pressure. All that I ask, improve every day. See, there's a metric measured. There's no urgency of anything. Take your time, and for me, COVID has taught me enough that, as I said, if there is no business for 6 months, nothing happens to me. My company, not one guy will lose his job or anything at all. So I want to take it to 12 months at least. We know things will happen. I know people will have families, they'll have issues, they will need things which are always given. So I try and provide everything, give them medical, give them free leaves, and I don't really do too much. You take it 20 leaves, but then I try and understand it. I go down to their families, I interact with the parents of the adults that I have 40 years old. I send them things, gifts, this, Diwali. To me, it's important to understand what's happening at the family level, at the grassroots level. Then maybe from there, I can go back and see if an employee is performing or not. There's a serious issue of attitude. Story ends, and we talk very straightforward. One, we reduce the salary and tell them you're not performing and you're not contributing. Two, and it's very straightforward. I said, you're wasting each other's time. Your family is waiting for you to do something better. Please understand it always starts from there. Ask the guy, is your family expecting you to improve every 6 months, every year, have better salary, better recognition? Are you working towards that? So I asked him, what skills are you trying to acquire? If you need funds to even do something, I mean, man, okay, let me provide you that. But then you got to stay and deliver certain things. So the metrics need to be cleared now. We keep talking, people are under stress. Tell me what for the realistic expectations has to be set in. And we put onus on a company because we can't manage our life. We're having issues in the family. So we'll blame the company. If we have issues in the company, we'll blame your spouse, or we'll go down to our kids. We'll put a anger there. And it's just the same CK.
Okay, so let's talk about the stress which is in the quota of the employer. You see, because I think you have explained the stress which employees are facing. Let's understand from the other side. Um, you see, what is happening is that retention, making a team, these are all the responsibility of the CEO. But today, the big challenge is how do you retain these people? Because obviously, these people are having so many expectations, as you rightly pointed out. They have a lot of expectations. Their family also have expectations. They have very tall, thinking about their life. And there was a time, almost like 5 6 years back, when people used to talk about, look, I have the best location, you can reach this location quickly. I have the best sitting real estate. I will give you 24 by 7 air conditioning. I will give you light, coffee, free coffee. I will give you a break every 1 minute, 1 hour for 15 minutes. You can go have a chat with a friend or smoking break or whatever you want to do. And I will also give you ESOPs. So you tend to make money also if you stick around long enough. Now, I have seen is that none of these things are working. They're not impressed by your facilities. They are impressed by your real estate. They are not impressed by how much money you're spending, like insurance or providing free coffee, free food, lunch, dinner, etc., free transportation. And they are not even impressed by the shares that they get as a part of stock options. So don't you think this is causing so much stress to the employer because they do not know where to go now because all their tested tried mechanisms are not working on the employees anymore. They don't know how to hire them. What is your opinion?
That's not going to work. Nothing will work like this. From my personal experience, it's like have a core team of 4 or 5 people, I'm telling you, and they would be very close and irreplaceable kinds, closely knit group, which manages the core operations. And if people leave, it doesn't hurt that much. So be prepared. People will come and go. Give due respect. Bring them on. All your job is to support them. Please understand, unless I support train, he can't do better. Right? At the job. As you said, even ESOP. Now, my son had the first question, brilliant job, brilliant company, ESOPs, everything. He said, is this the life that I have at this age of 21? That I go work and run that? And is this what I will be doing? And I said, no, this is the beginning. You're learning and there are many things to do. So, from that perspective, employers cannot learn to employees unless you give them a path. You see, this is what you will get personally. Over a period of time, money is not that. People are having money now. There's sufficient things. All we're looking for is how do I improve my life over a period of 5 years. Forget beyond that. Even 5 years is hard. 1 year. What are you giving me now? I can give you a skill set. I can give you better things. People don't just jump for the money. They talk to them. Stick with them. Please sit in the mud with them. Point is, no employer is ready to sit and talk with your employees, have nice dinner with their families, and just sit up and watch. So please understand, once you stay connected with families of your employees, they're not going to go far. They know that you're there to support. So these chairs and the infrastructure, nothing. Coffee shop, we both know these things are gone. Now it's the time of connectedness where that employee feels that the company cares, and you will have to really show. No family business, but then you got to show the care. You'll have to do it.
Well, in that case, the question is really stressed, because you're now talking about mechanism, how you can, work around using the current situation, how you can overcome the current situation. But then there is still a lot of stress, even though you have a close knit family type employees, core team, which is 80/20. 80% of your team is very, very core, and they will actually be responsible for making sure that the company is working and also revenue is flowing in. But what if 50% of this 80% leaves? Is it not the cause of stress for the employers?
No, but see again, risk management. If you see, this is what I said before. Always have risk management in place. If it goes, as I said, even if there's no business, can you handle it? 6 months, a year. COVID has shown that. If your 50% team leaves, then what? This is what needs to be thought over before you get into things deeper. Please understand. I may have a 10 people, 20 people team today, and two, three, four would be core. But then I ask myself this question, that what if this main guy leaves? Somebody who's technically knows everything, Uh, I found replacement myself within the team. I keep grooming everyone, that you come up, you come up. I learned finally comes up. So you got to prepare and cover your risk. Stress this is how, if I'm taking a car on the road, it can break down. What do you want me to do? That's not a cause of stress. It's a simple way. Same story happened with the companies. People will, as I said, the whole team goes off fine. I may get better people. They were not meant to stay then. See, a core team has a common aim, a common goal, and a lot is at stake. They're given stakes there. You can't leave simply and exit and say, I'm leaving, unless he will also lose a lot. They will also lose a lot. So this is how it has to be developed. I am all the time 24 by 7 risk management kind of stories in place. Even with the families, I tell them, cover your risk. Everybody, simply cover your risk, whatever you can. Think the worst case scenario. You think, can you handle it easily and still move on? Start from there and begin it. 50% team growth doesn't matter. Company is running, you got funds, you should have that. This is what I said, 6 months, 12 months, funds should be there in the company. If people leave, there's no business, nothing should happen to the company, you should not get into stress. Here, the story is very different. Buying left, right, I don't know what they're doing. I was shocked at the point that, companies can't even sustain employees for 15 days, 30 days. They're throwing them out left, right, and center, reducing salary by 50, 75%. What the hell? People for 10 years have given and they've earned so much, and we are just simply throwing them out. What kind of business are we doing? Where is the money? Where did it go?
So, you know, this is a very difficult question actually. There is no perfect answer. There is a friend of mine in Mexico, and he had 1,000 people, and he fired all of them, all 1,000 people. Entire company he has fired, and he has employed the the AI, different kinds of bots running, and he is a one-man army, and all the work in his company is done by bots. But as I said, there are no perfect answers. Let's move on to the next question. How important is professional health? And Basant mentioned initially that in India, especially large country like India, this is still a taboo. Nobody will like to say that, no, I have some issue, and therefore people don't go for professional help. So when we return to Basant, we will actually ask him about uh, how important it is to take professional help, and what are the steps to be taken when seeking a therapy or a counseling. Uh, let's go back.
CK, I have seen, I've gone to NLP, I've gone to different people to try and resolve my own issues. So I start with myself only. I have tremendous, scars in here. So I seeked help. I did, and but then more than that, you have to find a reason, much stronger than whatever it is, to push through. So you create a better place from that perspective. Now, professional help is very critical, and find the right person to get the help. You will burn the money and you will revisit, but then you won't get the help. There 90% of frauds win that. Uh, you'll have to involve your family and tell them, see, I need the help. You'll have to openly start with the family first. If they understand, then only you can do it better. Otherwise, it's very hard thing. Or you have some friend, very close one, who can help you out. It's difficult, very difficult to find the right people where you can place your faith and tell them everything. And that's accepting that probably they'll be able to help you. People can't really help, and not enough trainers in emotional bracket, that kind of experience. Uh, I have hunted, I have seen, I've spoken to a lot of them, and it is difficult for sure. But then you know that you can't handle, you have to ask, otherwise, it's really going a bad way.
So what you're saying is, we should be open about it, and we should always use the referrals to basically find the appropriate counselor, I think. Um, or do you think that there are so many NLP, you know, uh, floating around on the internet? Can we use?
No, no, no. CK, none of them have any experience. So please understand that they've found something and catchy and learned a couple of things. It's just that the magic trick, the mind emotion is work with magic. It's a very deep work that needs to be done. It starts with the emotional healing, the acceptance of what happened, and move on from there. It's just to talk about what happened. and it's very hard to talk. People don't talk, can't talk. You got to bring it out.
So professional help may be required, and I think there could be some references that people can use, but definitely look at asking for help. Let's move to the next question real quick. This is the line of the day. What role do the family and friends plays? Uh, Initially, Basant had touched upon this aspect, but I think we will go and understand this in more detail. And how family and friends can help an individual overcome the mental health issue. So let's go back and take Basant's view.
Yes, as I said, CK, we need not reach that point where you need to start asking for help. If you do reach that stage, it means that the family has not been really in touch with the reality and lost the plot. And then it becomes very hard, to go and make them understand that you're feeling this and this way and why you are doing, why you're behaving. Uh, Families also don't care after certain piece of time. I've seen people will find it strange, but then this is the fact, it's the truth. That even your parents or your brother siblings will leave you when your wife or your spouse will leave that you and when you're unable to manage it, blah 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 blah. Uh, you don't need to reach that stage, please. All I can ask is that open up first whenever there's an issue you think you can't handle. Start talking. Then once it's out of hands, the family has no clue how to handle it for sure, because and you are probably the main sole earner or the main earner, then it will be more difficult for them to accept the fact that the guy who's controlling everything is himself, is in a fix, and that scares them more. And they think that there's something else, besides having a mental issue. So we have to break that taboo, and very few friends will understand and come, because 90% are in their own zone, hard to do things. Uh, you'll have to open up from the beginning. I am saying please do not reach that stage. If you've reached, then it's very hard to find someone. Then people hunt for social media because you want to stay anonymous. Because in alcohol anonymous, it always works. No one knows who's, and families don't understand that. Same is for the drug rehabilitation or for the addiction of media or this. Everything is done anonymously. Why is this? Because people still don't accept that it's a problem, and it's mental health is an issue. A lot of Bollywood people have spoken about it openly. That suffered. So if you see from that perspective, you're human. You will have suffers, and there's nothing wrong with having bad experiences. Please open up. The whole point is we've suffered and we're still suffering. We've gone through a lot. Everyone has gone through. And then you will have to find your way back. No one is gonna help you. No one is coming because they are also troubled. Really.
So family plays a very, very stellar role in controlling overall mental health of the family itself. So you can't have individual, segregated out of the family, and therefore your message is very loud and clear that family plays a major role. And if the family is playing the right kind of role, then there is no need for asking for external help. So that's a very, very strong point that you have given us in the end. So Basant, it was pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for finding time and discussing this matter, which is away from business, but your inputs are very valuable.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot.